I'm back! Wait, that's not a Star Wars quote. Hey everybody, so took November off. Welcome back. If you aren't following my Instagram, then you probably don't know that I was doing National Novel Writing Month in November. That is NaNoWriMo or NaNoWriMo for people who like to pronounce things incorrectly. Go ahead and check it out. You can see what it's all about. It's actually really cool. If you like writing or you know someone who likes writing and they don't know about National Novel Writing Month, they should definitely give it a shot. It's writing 50,000 word novel in 30 days or less. It's an awesome challenge, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's even interested in writing. But we are back. It is December, and we are ready to get into the final weeks before the real meat of Consume the Canon starts. So what I wanted to go over today, I wanted to go over the top 5 things I am looking forward to and the top 5 things I am not looking forward to in the next 12 months. So let's start with the things I'm not looking forward to first. And number 5, honestly, I am not looking forward to Vader Immortal. So Vader Immortal is the VR game that was just announced a couple of months ago. People are really excited about it because it's actually going to be a canon story about Darth Vader, which is cool, except it's only going to be available in VR. You're only going to be able to play it using an Oculus. And I have talked to Amy Dittmeyer, my Jedi librarian, and she feels pretty confident that it is not going to be available from the library. So I'm going to have to A, find somewhere to actually play Darth Vader Immortal, and B, find somewhere to play it that's going to let me play it for something like 9 hours, which I think is what the gameplay is going to be like. And finally, I don't really like VR games that much. They're uncomfortable. They're not really to the point where they are a really immersive experience. And I feel like, frankly, telling Darth Vader stories in the way that I think they're going to tell them doesn't really sound that engaging. The number 5 thing I'm looking forward to, however, is a bunch of Halloween stories that actually came out about Darth Vader this October. So it's a series of stories that are told from the perspective of a group of rebels breaking into Darth Vader's castle. And it's all of these legends and spooky tales of things that they've heard about Darth Vader and about other things in the Star Wars universe. I'm really excited for this because it's the kind of thing that is wholly unique within the Star Wars universe. They're taking storytelling and a form of storytelling that we're all familiar with, telling ghost stories around a campfire, and they're putting it into a super awesome scenario in Star Wars, namely Darth Vader's castle, which Darth Vader's castle needs a little bit more attention, that's for sure, but I'm looking forward to creepy ghost stories about Darth Vader's castle and not the VR experience of Darth Vader's castle. So I gotta be honest, the number 4 thing that I am not looking forward to during Consume the Canon is Clone Wars. I know. It's amazing. I've already said that it's amazing, but it's 120 episodes of television that I'm going to be binging something like 8 to 10 episodes a day for a couple of weeks. It is going to be a slog. I love the storytelling. I love the characters. I love the arc. But that much media that's virtually the same day in and day out for 2 weeks, I'm really afraid that that's going to be one of the hills that I have trouble getting over during the entirety of Consume the Canon. However, the number 4 thing I'm looking forward to is Clone Wars because it's freaking awesome. If I could get over the hill, if I can get past the difficulty of watching the same television every day in and out for a couple of weeks, it could actually be the best part of Consume the Canon. Clone Wars is some of the best storytelling in the Star Wars universe. It has some of the most compelling characters. It has Some of the most exciting story arcs, it tells the background of Anakin Skywalker. It gives us everything that we need to know why Anakin became Darth Vader. So yeah, while I'm not looking forward to the slog that could be Clone Wars, I'm very much looking forward to revisiting the story, which is Clone Wars. The number 3 thing that I'm not looking forward to during Consume the Canon are the novels. Now, not all the novels. I'm excited to read the novels, but as I've said in previous videos, there are a couple of blocks of novels that are just back to back to back. Aftermath is a good example. There's 3 novels right there that happen immediately after the end of Return the Jedi in the timeline. And 3 novels in a row, to me, I think it's going to become really difficult near the end of that second novel because I don't have the time to take breaks. I have to keep going. So it's going to be a combination of reading and audiobooks, and I'm going to push through it as best I can, but that's going to be, a week to 2 weeks of nothing but reading novels straight through, and that's another big hill I'm not looking forward to. The number 3 thing I'm looking forward to, though, is the prequel series. I haven't watched the prequel series and I can't tell you how long. And I'm really, really interested to see if it's different. I haven't watched it in probably 10 years. And so going back and revisiting it after all of the new Star Wars media that's been released, after everything that I've seen and heard and everything I know about the characters and the plot and so forth, is it going to be new? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be exciting? I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to be super stoked about it and my whole life is going to change because I watched the prequel series and it's completely different. But I'm excited to see it again, to see what it's like in a different context. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. The number 2 thing that I am not looking forward to is honestly just all the maintenance of this. I can't read whatever story I want to whenever I want to read it. I've decided that I'm going to read everything in the Star Wars canon in chronological order. So that means that I got to do a lot of jumping around. There are going to be collections of short stories that I'm going to have to get from the library something like 6 or 7 times because some of the short stories are the absolute first thing in the canon and some of the short stories are all the way at the end. And libraries don't let you keep books for like a year. So there's going to be tons of that kind of stuff. As an example, Clone Wars, the first thing in the Clone Wars series is actually at the beginning of season 2. So I have to watch the beginning of season 2, then start again at season 1 and make my way forward. It's just going to be a pain in the butt to maintain. I want to watch what I want to watch, but the rules that I have set for myself just won't allow it. The number 2 thing that I am most looking forward to is Resistance. So the new series on Disney, Star Wars Resistance, I have been keeping completely blind about. I haven't watched an episode. I'm not reading any of the recaps. I don't know anything about Resistance. So that's going to be super exciting because it's going to be some really deep Star Wars canon stuff right around the time frame right before episode 7. That's going to be fresh and new to me. I'm not going to have any exposure to it at all. And so when I get there, when I get to watch Resistance, a whole new television series, I don't know if I'm going to be able to contain my excitement. You guys definitely have to follow me on Instagram if you want to watch me just giggling like a schoolgirl while I watch TV. I don't know if that's something people want. But if it is, Resistance is when you want to watch me do that. The number 1 thing that I am not looking forward to during Consume the Canon are the catch-up days. So I said that I had just done National Novel Writing Month. What that is you have to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days or less. Now there's no editing, you just basically write. But what it means is you have to write about 2,000 words a day every day for 30 days. And if you miss a day, the next day you have to write 4,000 words. And if you miss 2 days, you have to write 6,000 words. I call those my catch-up days. I don't like doing catch-up days, but they're inevitable. Even in a 30-day span, I had to have at least 1 or 2 catch-up days. Consume the Canon is 11 months long. In 11 months, there are going to be a lot of catch-up days. There are going to be a lot of days where I have to sit on my couch and just read for 9 hours. Or I have to watch an entire television series. Or I have to read 40 comic books. That's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And I'm really just not looking forward to it. But it's necessary. I have to do it if I want to get through all of the 900 some odd pieces of media I have to go through before episode 9 comes out. So while I'm not looking forward to it, much like all the other things I'm not looking forward to, they're required. I gotta do them. So it's just gonna be another hill I'm gonna have to climb. And the number one thing that I am looking forward to, of course, is episode 9. There's nothing about it at this point. I don't know what the name of it is. I haven't seen a poster. I don't know anything about this movie at the time of this recording. And I am so excited. I have no idea what's coming. After episode 8, it felt like the rule book had been thrown out the window. By the way, I loved episode 8. I didn't love it the first time. I loved it way more the second time. And the third time, I was in love. But it totally wiped the slate. We have no idea what's going to happen. So, episode 9, I am chomping at the bit. I am excited. I am stoked. I cannot wait. 370, 80 something days from almost 400 days. 400 days from now, I'm going to be watching episode 9. I'm going to be wrapping up Consume the Canon, and I am going to be tired. I'm going to be very tired. But I am going to have read and seen and listened to everything in the Star Wars canon. It'll all be wrapped up, and it'll be extremely exhilarating to see this Star Wars franchise have a nice bit of closure. So, thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Really, I want to get this conversation going. We're getting there. The pregame is almost wrapped up. The preseason is almost finished. It's almost time for the big time. So get everyone around the dinner table. I don't know what I'm talking about now. And let's start talking about Star Wars. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time on Consume the Canon.